Oh. I might have been playing my music when that stopped. Hey, this is Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California. It is 6:30 on a Friday evening, and I just don't buy it when I'm hearing Democrats say now that they wouldn't have voted for Biden if they knew how bad he was, which is ridiculous. And so we're going to get into this a little bit more as I go through the show. But before that, I want to make sure and let you know to go to patriotcoms.org, and put in your email address and your name. That way, I've already been suspended on YouTube for a week. It's only a matter of time before I get taken down completely, but I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going. But at some point, I want to be able to reach you and let you know where I'm going to land after this is all done. It's probably going to be, one of the other platforms, whether it's Rumble. Sorry, I'm sitting on something here that's just a little uncomfortable. Rumble or MeWe or there's so many that I've joined. I can't even remember all the ones. Telegram, Telefriend, whatever it is, Parler, all the different ones. So it just really depends. None of those that I just named you can go live on yet, as far as I know, at least not yet. So go to patriotcoms.org. So I'm going to take down my lower third. You guys know who I am. You know, this is the Andy Falco Show. All right. So I just don't buy it. Every so often, somebody will either put up a tweet or somebody will send me a message, or I'll hear it in a conversation, or somebody on one of the other shows that I watch will say, yeah, a friend of mine got a hold of me the other day and said, if I would have known, well, how do you not know? It is an excuse. It's like Cuomo not saying, if I, tried to kiss you, I didn't mean to try to kiss you. If I tried to rape you, I didn't mean to rape you. If I tried to kill a couple thousand elderly people, I didn't mean to kill them. I mean, yeah, it's like that. How do you not know? I mean, I have a list, and I ran out of room. You had 8 months of writing in Democratic-run cities. You had all this. You had this looting. You had burning down of the buildings. You had attacking of the police. You had shooting of the police. These were all Democratic-run cities. Many of you morons that were living in these cities that were getting burned down and getting looted, and you were getting harassed and yelled at and screamed when you were at a restaurant, were in the Democratic cities. You thought. You are so stupid. You thought voting for a Democratic president was going to make that better, or that's not a reflection of what it is you were voting for? You are just simply some of the dumbest people I've ever seen. I think it's more dumb. And I know I promised months ago that I was going to try not to do this. I was going to try not to call it. But how can you not at this point? Let me bring up this person that you voted for. Let me just bring this up. I'm going to play this very quickly here. Oh, you know what? I got to take it back down. I had to reboot and I forgot to do one thing. I'm going to bring it back up here, though. I've been telling you that Biden has dementia. Other people have been telling everybody that he has dementia. He would speak and you would know that he has dementia. You saw them on the debate stage. You saw him when they allowed him to do interviews, or they allowed him to get asked questions. You saw how he stumbled. You saw how he fumbled around. You saw how he couldn't get finish an entire sentence. You saw that nobody was coming to his rallies. You saw all of this. And yet you voted for this guy. Let me share with you just what he did today, apparently. This is the second time that he said, I'm going to ask questions, and Nancy Pelosi closed the feed. Here you go. Just enjoy this.
I'm going to ask some questions now. The press is going to leave, and I'm going to
Sorry, I get so excited. How did you not know? That was another one of my best rants ever. It is just so freaking crazy. Sorry, I turned it off so I wouldn't get an echo when I played the video. I really got to get a producer. My son offered, and I should have taken him up. I should have got him started on doing this so he can actually do it. Trying to click the buttons and try to get back to you with my excitement. I forget they hit the mic button. But back to the rant. How do you not know? How did you not know that's who you were voting for? It is virtually impossible. But yet more and more, I'm hearing somewhere somebody saying, I didn't know. I voted for him, but I didn't know. You are a lying ass that you didn't know. How did you not? How is it possible you didn't know? How did you not see what Democrats were doing to the Democratic-run cities? How did you not be affected by the year-long shutdown, mostly in Democratic-run states? That it was destroying our country. That there was the Democratic governors and mayors that were doing the destruction in all the Democratic-run cities. You did not see that in the cities that you were in? They weren't making you fearful. They weren't making you stay in your home. They weren't allowing your children to go back to school. They weren't allowing your children to play in playgrounds because they put yellow tape all around the playgrounds. You didn't see that? You nitwit? They lied about the pee-pee tape. They tried to make up some story that there was this video of somebody peeing on President Trump. This didn't exist. And that was proven wrong. And you continued to go, well, I'm just going to listen to CNN. They've only lied to me like 5 times. I'm gonna wait till they lie to me 6 times about President Trump being a Russian spy, about Ukraine. I'm not sure if I spelled it right. Lied about Hunter Biden. They lied. They did. I got a picture sent to me. I had to delete it so quickly because you would not believe what is on that laptop. Somebody that I know, I'm not going to share any more than that, sent me some pictures that are off the laptop. The ones that we've heard about that are so bad that they can't show on TV, they can't even talk about them. They sent it to me and they said, dude, you got to talk about it. I can't. I can't even. That's how horrible it is. That that if I could, I would talk about it. The pictures are so horrific that I can't even talk about it. I don't even want to tell you what they were. And that's the God's honest truth. I'm telling you that the picture I was sent is bad, horribly bad. But we were talking about it. We were told about it. And now you still voted for this guy who said, and this is the reason I'm bringing Hunter up, is because the guy you voted for said Hunter is the smartest guy that Joe knows. Hunter Biden to Joe Biden is the smartest guy that Joe knows. You heard him say that. And yet you know what Hunter's been doing, right? You know what he's been doing, right? And yet you still voted for him. And then the dementia that I just shared with you. So let's just, and again, I was going to focus on Biden to start, but I kind of focused on the things that were being done around you. When you have these major metropolitans, like Los Angeles, Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, what else is good? San Francisco, probably Sacramento. I'm not sure the demographics totally, but I'm sure they're mostly Democrats in Sacramento. But when you have those areas, these are the areas that look like crap, right? I really don't understand how you could be living in a democratically run city, stepping over human feces, having humans blocking the doors of businesses. You have to walk over them and around them to get into these stores, and the smell is just rancid. I've had to go through these cities a couple times for different reasons. And you live in the city on a daily basis, again, democratically run, city council, mayor, and again, the governor here in California, and you thought it was a good idea to put a Democrat in the White House. Those of you in New York, let me share my screen. I'm not going to mute my mic this time, so I won't get into trouble. Hey, Hedia, I miss you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. You have these people that live in this. Now that Hedia is on, I don't want to cuss. I don't want to offend her sweet ears. But you live in this crap hole. I guess that's better. Not much better, but a little bit better. You live in this place. Here, I'm going to show you in just 1 second. Hold on. Why can't I get rid of this? Wow, I'm having a little bit of a technical issue here with my computer. Here we go. All right. So you live in this. This is what's been happening in The graffiti in New York City is back as it was back when I was a kid. Look at this. This is what this building looked like a little bit before Democrats started really taking charge of these cities. That's what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. This is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. Wait a minute. There's more. Here's another street. And here's another street. Here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. I've been past that building. I had a court case there in New York. And when I went by, it looked like this. And now it looks like this. Let's see. There's more. Look, this is what the city looks like. Full of Democrats. You live in this filth. You live in this crap hole. You live in this rat-infested third world countries or cities. And then now you're telling me that you didn't know? You didn't know it was going to turn out this way? Are you? You're not for real, are you? None of this makes any sense. I drove through Los Angeles. I drove through Los Angeles yesterday. No, the day before yesterday. And as I'm driving through Los Angeles, I decided to get on and do a Facebook Live. And from the time I started the Facebook Live to the time I ended it, which was what, maybe, I don't know who was on, maybe 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Every overpass had homeless people, tents, crappy motorhomes that are just parked with flat tires. And then on the shoulders of the road, you have tents on the shoulders of the highway of 101. Very famous freeway. 101. Everybody that's been to California, whether you're from California or not, knows the 101. Because the 101 goes right through Hollywood and goes right up into Thousand Oaks and all that area up there. And for that space, that very widely populated area of Los Angeles, mostly Democrats, are living every day in that. And yet they supposedly went to the voting booth and voted Democrat. You can't, and that's why. And so driving through that yesterday, listening to Biden for the second day get cut off. Nancy cuts off his mic because she was afraid he was going to start taking questions. And again, he said, I'm going to start answering. I'm going to start asking questions. What he meant as I was going to start taking questions. And she cuts him off. They don't allow him to do any press conferences, right? That the Raggedy Ann does the thing. Am I still off? How am I still off? My mic is still working. Hello? No. How do you not hear me? Hi, Hetty, I heard me, right? Hetty, you can hear me? And Amy heard at least what I said last. Am I cutting out and cutting off? I'm sorry. So just let me know. Carol said she can't hear me. But I see my volumes on my caster are going up and down. And I'm getting responses to something I recently said. So I'm assuming I can still be heard. I haven't seen any responses either. I told you I was having a little funky glitch with my computer just a second ago. So it is possible that my mic did get cut off. So if I don't get an answer here soon, I may have to refresh if I don't get something one way or another. Oh, Priscilla can hear me. Jim can hear me. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. All right. So that was it. So as I'm driving through Los Angeles, I'm seeing all the homeless people. I'm seeing the nastiness just from the freeway. As you go deeper off the freeway, it only gets worse. It doesn't get better, by the way. It does get worse. When you look at what's happening in New York, and again, these people are going to work and walking by. You got people moving out of New York. You got people moving out of California. Where is it? How is it possible that you're thinking that we're going to believe that you didn't know that this was going to happen to our country, that you didn't know that Joe Biden was really not going to be president, that this Kamala Harris that they put in, they plugged in there, who they hardly got maybe one vote during the during the nominations for who they were going to select for president, she got kicked out early, right? She doesn't even make it into the final phases of whatever. That's the person they pull her out of the trash can to bring her and make her vice president. And you're telling me that you didn't know that this was going to go horribly wrong, You had a guy that clearly has dementia. There's no doubt that you could not know that he has dementia. That you voted for a guy with dementia, knowing that the person that he put in the vice president seat was not even anybody that anybody liked, with a horrible history. That also during the rioting, she bailed out a number of the rioters and the looters, and said that what's his name there in Atlanta? Not Atlanta. I forget what city the guy was in, but the guy that was the rapist who attacked the police with a knife and then got shot and paralyzed. That she said that he was brave. This woman who says that a guy that attacked police and attacked the victim of an earlier sexual assault, that guy, she called him a hero. And you're really going to get on whatever platform, or you're going to contact me and say, I didn't know? You had no idea? I don't believe that you, just because you're following CNN and then you believe their lies. I don't believe that, because it's nearly impossible. Again, living where you live, seeing what you see the buildings on fire, you see the police being shot. You can't help but see on the social media what's happening across this country. Most of the damage, most of what's happening, the horrific crimes that are occurring are happening in Democratic-run cities. And then you see South Dakota flourishing because that governor never shut it down. You see Florida flourishing because they shut it down very little and brought it back very early. You see what's happening in these other states that didn't go to the extent of the Democratic-run cities. You see them flourishing, see their kids going to school. But you hear of the suicides that are occurring in California of children of the peak, the suicides that are occurring in the Las Vegas, Nevada area because of the school shutdowns. You see all that, and yet you continue to vote Democrat. You continue to say that this president is actually you know he's not president, and you know he's not doing a good job. And I still even see what's equally as frustrating is people saying they didn't know and they voted for him anyway, or they voted for him because they didn't know. What's as frustrating as that is people that are now saying, oh, he's the best ever. What are you watching? What are you watching? You see what he's doing daily. The HR1, the sexual, the Equality Act or whatever that is, having men compete with girls in girls' sports, to, I could just, just go into reversing the taxes, to stopping all of the work done with the pipeline, to opening up the borders, keeping schools down, and saying he's going to allow schools to open up for 1 day a week. I'm going to let schools open up for 1 day a week in about 100 days from now. But what we're going to do is we're going to open our borders and let tens of thousands of children and tens of thousands of adults into our country, but we're only going to open the schools for 1 day, for 1 day a week. Oh my God. And you either are saying, well, I didn't know that it was going to be this bad. You're just doing a Cuomo. I mean, that's actually a pretty good name. You're doing the Cuomo. You're saying, well, I didn't know that I was sexually harassing women. I didn't know that I was killing the elderly by putting COVID-infected elderly in with the elderly. That was Trump made me do it. Trump made me do it. And then saying that, well, if I was doing all these things, what are you? I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know that I was trying to kiss her, and I didn't know. That's my Italian accent. And yet, and so that's what you're doing. I didn't know this. I didn't know that Biden had dementia. You're full of crap. How did you not know that Biden had dementia? You're off your rocker. Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you, Carol. I don't know what happened. Hey, Danielle, nice to see you. Amy, of course, as always. Thank you. Jim Lewis, nice to see you. Right after the Biden clip. Oh, yeah, but that was a short. Yeah, I didn't turn it right back on. People in BH getting robbed. Yes, thank you for reminding me. In Beverly Hills. I mean, the crime is just going to continue to increase. Hold on. Yes, son?
Where's
the seaweed? You can't have any seaweed right now because I'm making dinner. Dinner's cooking right now. All right. They love seaweed, by the way. Yes, in Beverly Hills. It's not only going to be in Beverly Hills. It's going to be everywhere. The crime is going to continue to increase because we have in Los Angeles a DA that refuses to charge anybody with any crimes and refuses to put anybody in jail, and has basically made petty theft legal. The spray painting you see in New York of the malicious mischief, which that is called, that's the law that we would use to arrest somebody, is virtually just not in existence. They're not going to arrest anybody for malicious mischief. They don't arrest anybody for looting anymore. They don't arrest anybody for, simple assaults anymore. And so, of course, in Beverly Hills, they've had 2 robberies, maybe 3 robberies, night after night, where they go into one of them was the last one that Hetty is talking about, is they went into a restaurant at gunpoint and took the jewelry from other people from a very nice restaurant. This is going to continue. It's going to get worse. And again, most of these things are occurring in democratically run cities and states. And again, it's just, you cannot ever, there's no way that you ever thought there's going to be a good thing. There's no way these movie stars, right? These elites or these singers, the people, the celebrities, right? The celebrities driving to the studios, driving to these locations and having themselves have to drive around the homeless people, have to smell the urine and the feces in the air. And yet they still, I don't understand where they're coming from. They say, we need more of this. So I'm going to vote Democrat. You guys are racist if you don't want more of this. You guys are sick and you guys are bigots. You guys are white supremacists if you don't want more of this. What is it that what does that come from? What kind of mentality is that? I'm not sure what it is they gain from it. From there, I mean, we're not even able to. What they have to do, like partial seasons, because of all the shutdowns and the inability to shoot movies. I'm not sure what it is they're gaining from all this. But the point again, the whole thing is, I'm trying to stay on focus here, is that these people that are voted for Biden and shaming us and calling us deplorables and calling us Neanderthals and calling us white supremacists and all the names they're calling us are the people that live in these cities that are just simply falling apart, including Beverly Hills right now. Beverly Hills has had 3 major robberies where actually one person was run over. That Hetty's family knows. And so it simply is just a crazy period of time to say that you didn't know that something was going to happen. It's impossible. It is impossible. You could say, oh, I'm not on social media. You may not be on social media, but you do live in these cities where this is happening. I mean, most people will turn on the news. Most people will have somebody that calls them on the phone and say, hey, did you hear what happened last night? And if it's ever been bad, it's been in Democratic-run cities. Now, I'm sure something bad has happened in a Republican city here and there, but the major incidents of occurrence, Washington, D.C., you can say January 6th occurred in a Democratic-run city, District of Columbia. And what they didn't do is do their job. They were told this was going to happen. They were told that they should be on alert. But what do? They told their police to stand down. They could have had the National Guard there then. But Nancy Pelosi said no. Now when they don't need it, they put in the National Guard. Those are the things that I can't believe that you're missing. They had the chance to put the National Guard in when they knew it was going to happen, but they didn't. But when nothing's happening, they're putting up the National Guard and razor wire and the fencing and all the things that they need to do now when nothing's happening. Why is this? Why are you not smart enough to work this out, Democrats? What happened to you? It's really, really bizarre. Really bizarre. Let me get through a couple of these things and I'll call it a night. But I just want to come on because I just find it completely ridiculous that this is happening. People in Beverly Hills you already saw that. Thank you for being our voice. Oh my gosh. I hope, except for when you can't hear me, except for when I mute my mic. How about the bus full of COVID border crossers is being sent to North Carolina? Oh, I didn't hear that one. That one slipped by. Or how about the vehicle, the SUV? I think what was an Explorer? I think it was an Explorer. I've owned an Explorer. You cannot you cannot drive and explore with 25, 30 people in it. You can't. That is why it crashed. That is why people died. And that is why Biden is to blame for the fact that they took an SUV from the border full of illegal aliens, and now 13 people are dead. That is because of Biden. Just like when we can blame the deaths of the elderly in the nursing homes to Cuomo, you can blame the deaths of those 13 people coming across the border on Biden. He's the one who caused that to happen. And but nobody will ever hold him accountable. That won't happen. What's for dinner? Chicken fettuccine from Costco. I would like to take the credit for making it, but I got it from Costco just a few minutes ago. Break-ins here in my neighborhood at 6 p.m. on the news because it is so rare. They took jewelry. The crime's going to increase. They don't, because they're not prosecuting. You got lunatics as DAs. There is a lot out there that says that George Soros has understood where he can have the most impact on the negative things happening in our cities is by putting in DAs that won't enforce the laws. And the word, and many of you probably know this, but George Soros has been highly involved in the financing for these DAs that get into position and then don't enforce the laws and allow these things to happen. And this is what is going to happen when the criminals are empowered and the police are weakened by defunding and deplatforming. Then this is going to happen. Carl says they just recently had that fatal where 13 out of 23 died. Yep, in El Centro. Yeah, very clearly. The policies of Biden is causing this isn't going to be the only one. There's going to be a lot more. I remember, and I don't remember who was in president. It might have been Clinton. I don't remember. There was a period of time. It could have been during one of the Bush periods too. I don't know, where they began to put those signs up on the 5 freeway going southbound towards San Diego that had signs of families, of a mom and dad trying to, holding the hand of their child. These signs are, watch out for kids that are being run across the border. That's what happens when you have a flood of people that think it's okay to come into the country. You have these incidents occur because they're all trying to get over before somebody new comes in or before they decide, hey, this is bad, and they close the borders. There's a panic to get across the border during this really, I don't know if it's going to be short. It could be a long period of time. Whatever period of time that the borders are open, you're going to have a lot more of this where people are being, they're going to die in containers. They're going to die in the trunks of cars. When it becomes summertime, you're going to hear more about these deaths of adults and children that are being smuggled across the border, because they think that this may be short-lived. And this comes from a weak border policy, and it's going to get worse. The people that say and claim that they're doing it because of humanity are causing more deaths, causing more inhumanity as people are being forced to pay, forced for sex to come across the border. There's going to be more sexual exploitation of children and women to get across the border. This is the exact opposite of what it is that they saying that they're trying to do. It is the exact opposite. Closing the border in a way that causes people to come across legally is the way that things happen safe. We know this. If you've ever, police officers know this. If you have an event in your city, it's the control of the exiting of the people at Anaheim Stadium, of the Honda Center, of the Staples Center. You don't just open up the doors and say, okay, have fun, and then have everybody get in their cars and try to drive out. You then have crashes. You have people run over from the cars trying to speed up because everybody's trying to get out first. You have chaos. It's in the control of putting up barriers, controlling the direction of traffic, controlling where the pedestrians are as opposed to the traffic is. When you control things in a manner that is with law and order, you have less chaos, you have less deaths, you have less injuries because you have order in the way people are coming out of one of those things. It's the same thing with the border. When you have order coming across the border in a process, you have less inhumanity, you have less sneaking across the deserts and people dehydrating and dying. You have less sex exploitation of children and of women and coyotes. You put a bunch of those people out of business, and it's the order that you're looking for, that the conservative Christian, conservative Republicans, not the rhinos, of course, but the conservatives are saying, no, we need order. We need law and order, not only at the border, but in our cities also. It really is not hard to understand, is it? I mean, it really is just common sense. To just open things up and have chaos seems to be the goal of the Democrats. They again have just simply lost their mind. Yeah, home invasion at 6 p.m. is very bizarre. Usually they're sometimes around 11 o'clock or so when people are asleep. But yeah, that's just in broad daylight. I'm guessing 6 p.m. is still daylight. They just recently had that fatal. Yep. Oops, sorry, I already read that. Sorry, Carl. We have the absolute worst Democrat DA in Los Angeles. Oh, you do? Is much like ours in Los Angeles. Ours in Orange County right now seems to be okay. Thanks, Kelly. The alarm just went off for the fettuccine. That's the one I'm talking about. That guy's a maniac. San Francisco. He was in San Francisco and now came to Los Angeles. Why is the border control only staffed by 2/3? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, it's just wackiness. Oh my gosh. What a day. What can I end on a positive? I'm trying to think. So I took my 14-year-old driving just a minute ago. That was fun. He didn't crash my truck. We had a really good time. He did a really good job hitting we did accelerator, brake, U-turns, right turns, left turns, used the blinker, had a good time. Ray came along. She was riding in the back seat. She got car sick from all the stopping and starting. But Kelly did a really good job. He's got good hand-eye coordination, and my throttle on my truck, you can pick up speed a little bit faster, and the brakes are a little bit more sensitive. So he was dealing with that change in what he's driven before. So that was pretty good. So that was fun. Hedia will be here tomorrow. That'll be great. We have church on Sunday. That's fantastic. And so I want to talk about a few positive things. What else? Oh, I have a little experiment going on. I'll tell you about it in about 6 or 7 days. I feel great from my experiment. The experiment has to do with health and nutrition, and it's going really well. I'm so happy. Dinner's being cooked. My son's taken out of the oven right now. Everybody has hands on deck. That's awesome. What else? I'm just trying to think of how I can leave on a positive note. I'm sure there's something else. I just can't think of it. So what I'm asking again, and I'm going to continue this repetitive direction, is that we just all need to wake up. We just need to. I see Priscilla like crazy posting. I say that's awesome. Carol and Amy. Amy not so much. Amy sends me a lot of stuff privately, but she puts my name in a lot of posts that she thinks I would want to see, and I appreciate that very much. Much of my ideas come from. Amy's direction. She sends me all kinds of stuff. Oh, and I have Jesus. Yes, Hedia. Yes, I have Jesus. Oh my gosh, the devotionals are so good. Let me get to that. All right, but anyway, let's first talk about this thing. I need you to wake up. You need to not sit on the sidelines. You need to not be afraid. Again, I have so many people that I still know to this day, even now, are saying, "Well, I can't say anything because I'm going to get fired. I can't say anything because my mom or dad or my brother or my sister, my aunt, my cousin are going to get mad at me. They won't talk." I don't care. I don't care. I'm telling you right now, I have family that's contacted me and said, "I don't like the way you talk about Democrats. I don't like the way you call us idiots." Well, did you vote for Biden? Yes. Then you're an idiot. And I have no problem. Again, maybe I'm just in a different position here, but we cannot allow this to happen. The cost is too great. The cost of the cost of our country is too great. The cost of following God's principles on how this country should be run, because our country was based on the principles of the Bible and God. Regardless if you're an atheist living in this country, you want to be thankful that the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all these things were based on the direction of our God-given rights, and we cannot forget that. Without God, I'm not sure who said it. Was it Thomas Jefferson or Ben Franklin, one of the greats? John Hancock, probably not, I'm not sure, but one of them said, if we take God out of our country, if you take God out of our Constitution, our country will fail. Somebody said something like that. Those aren't the exact words. And that is true. Because it has to do with principle, it has to do with the teachings, it has to do with a lot of a lot of things that are important for this country to run on in a way that it is. That we were after probably the UK, I think, or England, we were the first to abolish slavery, that we become one of the most important countries in the world when it comes to saving countries during times of disaster and war. When we've gotten in war with other countries, we don't take the land, we rebuild the land. I mean, again, there's no doubt that there's things we've done that have not been great, obviously, because right now, look at what we're doing right now. We are a very poorly run country. We're doing a lot of horrible things. A lot of the things we're doing right now with our economy, with our money, with these $1 trillion bills is hurting other countries too. When our dollar becomes weak, that weak dollar affects other countries. If you don't understand, when we make Iran stronger and China stronger, that harms other countries. Look what's happening in Hong Kong. Look what happens to the neighbors around Iran and what's happening in Syria. And we start to get involved and it creates a war. When we in the United States have a weak country and we get away from the peace plans that Donald Trump had put in there, the 4 peace plans that he put in, when we get away from that process, chaos begins to happen. And so just understand that our involvement in this and the loss of, maybe not talking to a family member for 6 months to a year or however long it be, they'll be thankful later that we saved the country. They'll be thankful that we start small with our school boards and our city councils and our mayors, bring them back to a Republican run area and then spread out to, recalling Gavin Newsom and putting in a Republican conservative in the state of California. When they begin to see the positive, how it changes to a much better run community and much better run state, they'll start talking to you again. You'll find a better job because jobs will be better under a conservative run, a good conservative run Christian, not somebody like Mittens or somebody some of the other rhinos that we have in power. And so we have to be involved. We have to take it back. We have to get our churches involved. We have to recall Gavin Newsom, and that is so important. Sorry, I hope that didn't go on too much of a rambling mess. But so much sometimes goes on in this head, and I forget. Please wake up and no shots. Yeah, I'm not getting a shot. I'm posting the crazy, trying to lose friends. You are Priscilla. You are posting like crazy, and I get jealous now because you have some really good posts. I thought, wow, I used to have good posts. Now Priscilla is kicking my butt in the post. I used to post a lot, but I don't post much anymore. I'm not afraid. I'm just exhausted. Well, get rested, Amy. We need you in the fight. Take a deep breath. Take a little nappy, and let's go. You can't be exhausted. I can't have exhausted friends. My sister and my daughter are Democrats. I call them idiots all the time. Thank you, Priscilla. All right. So I was going to end on a positive note. Now, the positive note is we are doing really well, I think, Hetty and I, on our devotional. And so on this show, I would like to advertise our devotional. And if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't done it yet, if you would go to Living Fearless Devotional on Apple Podcasts and subscribe and hit those stars. I don't know if you can see it down here, but down here at the bottom underneath our logo, you see those 5. Hit 5 stars and then give a positive review. Go there and do that. And then you can listen to our podcast anywhere. You can see it live on video on our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page for the Living Devotional, Fearlessly Living Devotional. And my YouTube channel, TheAndyFalcoShow.com. Go there. That's you'll be taken to YouTube. We're also on Twitter via Periscope, and we're on Twitch. So we're on all those platforms on video, but to listen on the podcast, if you would go to that first, and then you can listen to it on iHeartRadio or Spotify or any of the other podcasting platforms. So there's my positive note to end on. I know. Everything I have is Apple. Everything, every computer, every iPad, every phone I have, everything I have is an Apple. I'm kind of stuck. I don't order on Amazon. And that was one of the things I was going to actually do an entire show on all the things that I've stopped, and it drives some people crazy in my life. and I get it every so often. Like, what? Why do you do that? But I don't have Netflix. I don't pay for Netflix. I don't pay for. I don't do anything on Amazon. I bought a sweatshirt the other day because the sweatshirt my daughter wanted, I could only find on the Amazon. So for the first time in 6 months, it has to be. I had to use Amazon. All my books are on Amazon, but I don't do much on Amazon. I use DuckDuckGo. I don't use Google. I have a DuckDuckGo app on my phone. I have DuckDuckGo on my computer, and I use that. And now Cadbury. Yes, Cadbury. Hedia, thank you. I will not buy any Cadbury during Easter or ever again. They have, if you have not seen it yet, they have two gay men kissing as they bite down on a Cadbury, and the cream that's in the Cadbury is dripping off their chin. And so, yes, so no more Cadbury. What else? No pro sports. I haven't watched pro. I did watch the Super Bowl. I did watch the Super Bowl because I wanted to see the commercials. I wanted to see what was going to happen with all these commercials. And to see Bruce Springsteen commercial get pulled down after he got a DUI driving a Jeep, that was awesome. So I was so thankful for that. But what else? So no pro sports. I've not even really watched hockey, and I'm a huge hockey fan. I live and die. I used to live and die by hockey. I'm gonna end this list in a minute, but I can. So I buy Goya products. I buy My Pillows, and what else? So there's that. So what I want to end with and tell you that I feel no difference. I don't feel any different. My kids every so often go, hey, there's a show on Netflix when I watch. I go, oh, too bad. And then it's over pretty bad, pretty quickly. But I've not noticed a difference other than positive. There's been a positive difference in that I don't watch pro sports anymore. I could care less whether I buy anything on Amazon. The Mimo camera that I'm using that you're watching on, I didn't buy that on Amazon. I bought it directly from Mimo. The Rodecaster that I'm using here, Hedia bought that from Guitar Center. She didn't buy it from Amazon. Not that she doesn't use Amazon. I'm trying to get her to stop using Amazon. But this was not. And I was so happy that it wasn't purchased on Amazon. So, and I'm just here to tell you that it's not changed anything in my life. I go to the grocery store still 2 to 3 times a day. That's just my thing. I don't know why. I like going to the grocery store apparently, but I do that. I don't have anything shipped to my house using Amazon, and that's just how I am. So I just, I don't know. I can tell you that it's not affected me negatively in any way. It's all been positive. So let me just leave that on that positive note. Yeah, you're on iPad. I know that this is this is the only thing that I don't know what I'm going to do. It's kind of like I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. I don't like Twitter, but I'm on there so that I can spread, but I'm using their platforms to speak poorly about them. All right. No Lowe's. Oh, no Staples. I don't go to Staples because they wear Black Lives Matter. I support Black Lives Matter T-shirts and stuff. And it's Staples. It's a Staples shirt that says I support Black Lives Matter. And so I don't go to Staples anymore. As my daughter caught me yesterday. I got to go to Staples. And she goes, you're going to Staples? I go, oh, no, I forgot. I can't go to Staples. I got to go to Target. Yeah, Cadbury. Good grief. That is just so crazy. No Coke, no sports, no Amazon. No Coke. Yeah, there's something about, yeah. Coke too. I forgot about Coke. Yeah. So yeah, no Coke. I got 4 big dog beds from My Pillow. Awesome. That's amazing. I love that. Look for egg score. Look for, ESG score. What is that? Help me out with that. I was going to sign up, but now I got to wait to see look for ESG score. What is that? Anything else? Anything else, Hedia, my love? Yes, Jesus has been great. Jesus has been amazing. That has been a great. Doing those devotionals has been so good for my soul. Target is all. What? Target's a no too. What did I miss on Target? There is something. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there is something on Target too, but I forget what it is. Environmental social government score. We looked that each company has a ESG score, and so we should look for that. All right, I'm gonna have to learn more about that. Carol, tell me more about that in a private message. All right, my friends, I love you guys so much for watching. Thank you. I know that I went in a few directions here and kind of got on a rambling mess there, and then but that's just what I do. It has been a series of events And then the claim that people don't know is ridiculous. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. And then you have the people that still think that Biden's doing a good job. I'm not sure which one is crazy. As I'm signing off, let me know what's worse. Which one is worse? Is it saying that Biden's doing a good job is worse? I'm not sure. It's hard for me to decide. Or is it worse that people are saying, well, I wouldn't have voted for him if I knew? I think you're lying. I don't know. I don't know which one's worse. Maybe thinking that he's doing a good job can be worse. I think at least the people that say I wouldn't have voted for him are kind of saying, yeah, he's admitting that he's doing a horrible job. Maybe that's less worse. Maybe. I don't know. I can't decide. All right, my friends. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to dish out some of this meal to the kids, and I will see you on the next one. I'm just looking for the video. All right, my friends. Love you guys. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye.